Hello. How's everybody doing?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Ultimate Bachelor. I'm feeling a little goofy today. I got a lack of sleep. Probably got 1.5 hours just now. Forced myself to get up.
Awesome, man.
Whew. I've been
So
spreading
you're
some false
fighting.
information around, telling everybody
Oh,
that
okay.
Jesus is coming today. And
So he's not coming today.
okay,
Dude, I didn't pay my electricity bill. We need to talk about this.
you and everybody else in the world.
Yeah, if we cut off all of a sudden, that's because I thought Jesus is coming today and I didn't pay my bills.
I'm
Davin
sorry.
told me.
I'll help you out with that because that's my fault.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a 0% beverage because I I had to go and turn my compost over, and man, what a sweaty business that was.
Oh goodness,
It's
I
so
just
hot here, man.
sweated it up
Oh my
too.
lord.
Oh, excuse me.
Uh, Namaste. How is everyone? Just before we start the stream, I want to highlight the title of the stream because it's a British proverb. So I don't think most of the Americans are aware of it. So I will just show you guys the meaning of the word horses for courses. Let's
Oh
see
yeah,
if,
please.
how it is pronounced. How it is pronounced.
Horses for courses.
Uh, which it is a British proverb. Different people are suited for different things or situations. So I'll stop sharing this.
So what are you suited for?
So I am best suited for lying down and
Starfishing?
yeah, letting my money work while I am sleeping. That's the best thing I can do. I'm too lazy. Yeah.
Sweet.
Uh,
Late last night, some
but
ADA guy came into the Hex Texas chat and wanted to have a walkthrough of how to get across the bridge with some ETH. And eventually, I gave him a call and said immediately. I said, "Hey, dude, are you drinking while you're doing crypto?" Because like the shit that he was asking just didn't make any sense, and he wasn't giving me straight answers. So we got it all settled out. All he did was just bring some ETH across the bridge, and then he was at PulseX trying to trade it. And I told him, "Hey, just like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is gas, Ethereum is gas, Pulse chain is gas. You need somebody to send you some PLS. The same guy who referred you into this chat, you need to ask him for a little bit of what I call lubrication. Move some stuff around, make his first trade straight into some PLS. So we got an ADA guy diversifying into the blockchain. Super. We have our own blockchain, guys.
That's a great idea for an ADA guy.
Right.
Like
He's
and the prices are so ridiculously low that man, it's really hard not to start selling stuff from the yard.
oh right.
If
Buy
anybody
sell.
wants to buy a pool or a greenhouse, hit me up.
Hey, every time I cut my hair, I save it. I'll sell it to you. No, I won't. Never mind. That's too much. Because the technology's coming around.
Oh yeah,
HomeKit needs to clone me soon.
Somebody's gonna clone you.
Yeah. Back to my Jesus thing though. Last night I went out and had some Nepalese food, mixed with some Indian. And so it's a new place that's here in town. And me and my acupuncturist went. You guys know her because she was on stream.
Yeah.
So she said, well, let me meditate on that. So she sat back a little bit and then she was like, Jesus. So sorry guys for what it's worth to everybody. Sorry, but not sorry. Cause this might resonate in your life. The coming of Jesus is the coming of divine for each person. So, well, at least that's what it refers to often. And so, what she was saying, she brought out this quote. It was an awesome quote. Um, uh, when the student is ready, the master appears.
No,
It's,
yeah, it's one of those kung fu things,
yeah,
is it not?
yeah, I think it's a confusion quote. I guess. I think.
She said Ram Dass used that
Confucius.
often, and I hate Ram Dass, so I didn't bring that up at first.
No, yeah, it's all like plagiarized from some. Just give it your own personal twist and make it your own. Yeah, all these things are already written.
If we're at a bar,
But
bring up Ram Dass, I will fight you. Hey,
uh,
Finbear, do
uh,
people get drunk and angry? Do they get angry over there?
Oh, over here.
I need to know before I come.
Oh man, let me tell you, like one of the most common causes of death for anybody like in their middle age over here is
Is the curb?
that they got drunk with their putties.
Well,
like like over
it's all
in
last.
like the Russians. Sorry, my mustache escaped into my mouth. The Russians have a great habit where they have all kinds of like food when they drink. Like they drink raw vodka often with like a glass of water on the side and just straight up vodka, which feels like you would get aggressive and angry and stuff. But no, they got food. Like even if you're even if you're broke or something, you still have like some rye bread and like a couple of pieces of like smoked bacon or something. So when you're drunk, your blood sugar doesn't crash, but it's not the same over here. So like over here, everybody's like, I'm not buying any bread. There's like a bottle of vodka more if if I just leave all the food out. So it's not uncommon that like guys can get drunk for 2 or 3 days
Oh,
and then somebody dies because
oh,
their blood sugar is like it's up and down and up and down, and then somebody just puts the ashtray in the wrong place and gets stabbed in the face.
ooh.
That's yeah, yeah. It's quite common over here that people get drunk and really antsy.
Look what I got.
That's cool.
It's
Is that
a
a
incentive token hat.
new cap?
First one ever.
Nice.
Look at that bad boy.
That's pretty cool. My head is so huge that I can never wear those things. I look ridiculous. Well, it doesn't help my ridiculousness.
So this is at Chris Side Effects online merch. I forgot exactly the name of the store, but Chris Side Effects. He's over in the town next to me.
yeah,
Came to a lot of the meetups, especially that awesome Austin Hex on a Bridge meetup. I hear somebody's
uh,
in the green room. Who is
yeah.
it? Oh,
So
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
Erwin,
what's up,
Uh,
man?
hello,
bad.
man. Hello.
Lost track of time, was in another stream, and oh my lord.
Was it
Well, you're
crypto
here.
or Earth related?
No, it was crypto.
Sweet.
Watching the
yeah,
watching the whole was it FOC meeting nonsense?
Okay. I think Garage is trying to
Yeah,
address
you
us.
yeah.
go on, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I have to do some YouTube things. Like, if you liked the hat, Davin showed us. The link is to side effects, right? It's pronounced like
Yeah.
his merch store is in the description. You can buy one for yourself and support Hexicon, Pulsicon. Um, Plus, let's go, like, just say hi to our regular listeners, House Owners Association, Red Squirrel,
Whoop, whoop.
Xwood, Garton, Blue Collar Grunt, uh, um, and
Mango Chunky,
Mango.
sir.
I haven't seen you
Damn,
on
did you
this
see those
stream
balls?
for a while, but maybe some. Yeah.
What
I
balls?
saw it was up.
Yeah. That's
Mango Chunky's balls.
Hey guys, the chat is rocking. Good job in there.
And
Yeah.
and we have
And
Markavel.
Marcavelli. Hey guys. Hey, listen. If you guys don't mind, drop in a lemon every now and then because the algorithm really likes it if the chat is active. Even if you
fuck is a
don't have
lemon?
anything to say, just drop in a lemon or two every now and then
The fuck
because
is a
then
lemon?
we're in people's recommended feed.
And the other thing is, even if you don't want to drop lemons or anything, YouTube has a new feature. It has a small heart icon near the chat. You can, if you press that, you can see a heart floating up. We won't be able to see it, but I think the rest of the chat can on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
fun.
doing it right now. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding.
I'm doing this for your bags, guys. Your bags.
Yes.
I'm ding, 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 ding. There you go.
Uh, so
Hopefully it works out for you guys.
The flat leather that is your bag.
Yeah,
to be sewn.
my bags are looking like a lady who's suddenly lost 10 stone. There's a lot of empty space in there where there used to be a lot of stuff earlier.
Thank you, Richard Hart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Hopefully Richard loses a few kilos as well. It wouldn't hurt him.
We have a lot of furry creatures in the chat.
There's a lot of
I think
speculation going around about that he's gonna get
I
on
think
stream.
He's gonna get
sorry,
on stream what? Facing. He's gonna get on stream what?
Ripped.
Ripped. Like
Yeah,
okay,
Like,
cool.
yeah.
Yep,
Imagine
thrown down.
they're gonna clone.
You
They're
know-
gonna clone a better version of him.
Have we seen Richard like with definition? Instead, we've just seen him like capable of lifting a lot,
Mm-hmm.
right?
yeah.
What's up, Darash?
Yeah. No, I was saying I think that is why he's keeping off live streaming. Like he's going to do a big reveal before and after weight loss kind of thing.
I
But the
don't.
other
I
thing,
think it's complication of launching a fucking chain. We
Yeah.
don't yet have all the explanations of what ink is. We don't have all the explanations of what the extent of what Pulse X is going to be. Like it's amazing that we can even bring USDC over a bridge and have value over on a new chain. Like it just blows my fucking mind.
Insane.
We're at day 33, by the way. Congratulations. Whoop whoop.
And even a lot of projects that are now on Pulse Chain are actually worth more than on the ETH side. And it's not Hex only.
Okay, name those.
Texan token.
What else?
And what was it?
Meme coin.
Yeah, meme coin. Just
A frog.
But it was But it's
I don't know that one. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a reason I didn't want to.
Just a few days ago, there was a flat one right out in front of my house, in the street. That's so sad. Because I make a haven for frogs, and then there's people are driving over frogs as they come and go from my property.
there is a guy on TikTok. There is a guy on TikTok. He's called the Frog Army guy, and he like scooped up a bunch of like thousands of tadpoles from a pond, and he just created a havoc in his neighborhood. That's fine. Don't be that guy.
The neighbor is cussing him out and moving.
Seriously, because of
it's in a small
frog.
subdivision because they're all like trying to jump in their house. Like imagine
Who fucking cares? Like close your door, let the frog. Like I would love to have like
step
50
out on your
frogs.
deck without stepping on the frog.
You can kick a few. That like
imagine
they
what your
eat
wife
so
says.
many mosquitoes.
Oh yeah.
No,
Imagine
the
what your
problem
wife,
isn't.
I'm sorry to talk about your wife, but imagine what your wife would say.
I would fucking love to
You
have,
can't step
like, we used
outside.
to have, no, we used to have, like, back
Not
where
everybody has a
the
greenhouse.
raised garden beds are, we used to have a lot of frogs there, but they've had to move to the forest behind us because I put the garden beds there, and the pathways do what I expected them to do. So what happened was I put the garden beds. I positioned them in a way that the ends of the garden beds are sort of on the edge of the puddle, and then the pathways are uh, like sawdust and all the wood chip stuff that I got from chipping on the branches.
Mm-hmm.
So what the wood chips do is they sort of wick all the water from the puddle into the garden beds and keep them wet. Keep them wet. Yeah.
So, are you going to make a pond on your property ever?
Well, I shouldn't I? Because like the frogs kind of digged it. Hey, Seek 5555. It's good, man.
Uh,
Good for you
See, the
to
prob
hop in.
sorry. The thing
Come on,
is
Deej.
with that guy, the frogs were so large in number. Like it's not one or 10 frogs. It's thousands. So
Mhm.
it becomes a nightmare. So yeah, a few frogs don't have any problems, but when there are thousands, yeah,
I don't know.
it's kind of
Like, guys,
problem.
this sounds to me like
It's gonna be frog wars.
the talk of a person who doesn't have enough experience with mosquitoes.
Mm.
I just went to wash the pool a bit because it still has the water from last fall and it got all green with algae and stuff. And I just went to like wash the sides of the pool and the bottom to get all the shit floating so that the sand filter can suck it in and clean it up. Jesus Christ, I got bitten by 40 million mosquitoes, and I'm not even exaggerating. Well, maybe like 5 or 6 mosquitoes less. They're all over the place. I would love to have 5,000 frogs on my yard. An owl would, or I would get some predatory birds over here. They would just go and eat all the excess. But I like frogs and the work they do.
So you don't have chlorine in the pool? You just have low
I
levels of
do,
chlorine.
yeah. I have
Okay.
there's a bit of chlorine, but we didn't put any, like, during the fall, we just left the chlorine out and just let the sand filter run for a while, and then I just turned it off because it was already getting so cold that nobody wanted to go swim.
Guys, I have so
In
much news in Hex that like we could go on for hours on this stream. Duraj, how are you
Hey,
directing us?
Come on.
sorry, but don't you have a separate channel for doing that? It's called
Yeah,
the
well, I
Hex
missed it
Future.
last night,
Hex
so
Future. Hex Future. Yeah,
missed my
do it
tacos
on that
last
channel.
night. So I
This
Well,
I was
come on. You
spreading.
have to
keep this channel.
spill the beans, man. If you have some good news or even bad news or
What's
some
up,
awesome
Marcus?
gossip, I want to hear it, man.
Hey,
And
guys.
besides, I always
Hey.
miss your live stream that you do solo because it's like 3 o'clock at night for me or something when you do that one. So I don't mind. Go ahead. Just a bit. Just a tip, you know.
You know, some people don't know what the ink token does. Gold Key did a review of it recently. There was speculation in the comments on Twitter, tweeting back at Gold Key's review, asking if it is that your rewards of ink token can be increased based on you not harvesting the ink and allowing it to accrue instead in your
Seriously.
session. Yeah. So imagine that being delayed gratification in the ink token. You know, like you've provided for the liquidity pool. Now you're farming on V1. Your reward is ink token. Only whenever you harvest, you go in there and harvest the ink token, do you take it out and it's liquid. for you to move around. So ink token is thought to be a governance token in the future. But if it is that you allow it to accrue and not harvest it, and then you're more prioritized in receiving that ink token, if it is that you delay gratification of harvesting it and bringing it liquid, then I would assume that would be game theory Richard Hart style delayed gratification. So
that's a bit like a Watsa NFT.
Interesting.
You can
See,
only harvest it once and then it's gone, and everybody else gets more after your NFT is burned.
you know
I'm not
So
sure
it
what
has
about
this
some
that.
similarities. Of course, you can get back in with the ink, but still, sounds fucking awesome.
So that's one thing. Does anybody have anything to say towards that?
Yeah, to me, what this sounds like, you give a crackhead a burger and he says, "Where are my fries?" You are already getting ink for free. You want more. See these things,
What's the tokenomics of
uh,
ink? Why would it hold a value if everybody can just sell it off
like, but
for governance?
uh, because
I fucking
it is
hate
a way.
governance.
Because I want to vote. When
No,
has governance
it is
tokens
a
ever
way
fucking
to
worked?
hedge
Never.
your. It is a way to hedge your losses if you haven't experienced any farming in 2021
Hedge your
or
losses, as in sell it off and buy back what you lost. Sell, sell,
yeah.
sell, sell,
So
sell, 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 sell. Where is the
no,
buy, buy,
no.
buy,
I,
buy? Why would you want to
I,
hold?
you see, everybody has sentimental value to every token
Oh, so
he
they get
has.
tricked.
So
Oh, yeah. That sounds like good tokenomics. Just faith,
like
just trickery. That sounds great. Man, Diraj, go
like
to Tokenomics 101, Richard Hart as your professor.
like what I don't know what you're saying, man. Like
Yeah.
it's like you just because it's being inflated, like you can have it being shut off in any time. Like Uniswap did it. They were initially giving Uniswap
Yeah,
for farming, then they
because
stopped.
Uniswap did it, we can do
Then
it, huh?
of course it's a fork
And
of
Richard called that
Uniswap.
a
And
duct taped on token.
so yeah,
Yeah, he
so
did. Yeah,
I get it if you don't like its price going down, but hey, you are minting it for free. If you are doing plus it's kind of compensating for your pulse X losses if you are farming on V1. So yeah, like
yeah.
see
But
I'm not
every
that.
token,
if
like,
you
why do meme coins have value? These things you don't need to
Richard
if you
doesn't
don't.
create meme coins.
So
Richard doesn't create
that's
things
what.
that don't have a fucking purpose.
So this the incentive tokens purpose is to provide get incentivize people to provide liquidity. That's it. You don't need more value, like, or what else do you want? Like
There's a big hole there. There's a void.
see if you don't get it, just see okay. Plus we'll have pools where you can be able to stake ink token. There are already a third party exchanges which allow staking ink token. I don't
Cool.
want to mention them. There is another sacrifice that is going on, which is more likely to have ink staking. So you'll have your wish come true.
Please
But
don't sacrifice your new tokens because they'll just sell them off
yeah, it
and
makes
plus,
dump our
no sense
price.
to no sense to sacrifice for somebody to copy an existing code.
That's just in
What the
general.
fuck, man?
no, see, the thing about sacrifices, it shows your trust in the protocol. Like when we sacrificed for Pulse Chain and Pulse X, we were showing some kind of belief or respect or trust in Richard that he'll develop
I was
something good.
sacrificing for freedom of speech and freedom of movement, sir.
Yeah,
In case there's
yeah.
any
So,
SEC people in the chat, ignore D. Rush's comments about Richard Hart. He had nothing to do with it.
I got a frog in my throat.
You need 5,000 of those.
Hey, Marcus, what did you think
So-
about all those bees infesting New York City?
That was a pretty big swarm. I'm not going to lie. It'd be a pain in the butt to get at because it was up in the air. But yeah, that was a big swarm. I didn't. It looked bigger than I think it was just because they were on a flat surface. But when I seen the boxes they put them into, there should have been more bees there. So I don't know how big it actually was, but it looked like a lot.
Was that Times Square?
That I do not know. I've never really
convenient.
toured around New York.
Oh well, Times Square, you would have recognized it. It's in all the shots.
Oh well,
I mean, even
I'm not certain
even
on
the
that.
Dutch over
Everybody-
there know it.
Yep, everybody who's seen Home Alone knows what it looks like.
But no, swarm season. That's what time it is. It's time of
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
So that's not uncommon. People find them on their cars. I read news articles about them, find them on their vehicles, and in their grills.
I have a pretty big log in my next to my wood pile that I didn't cut into firewood because it was like almost rotten from the inside, but it was really long. It was like maybe 4 feet or something, and I've been trying to burn it from to get it hollow from the inside, like I think you did.
I did it,
Devin
and then
as well.
you
Yeah.
turned your head, had a cigarette, and you turned back around, and the whole thing's gone. The whole thing was burnt out.
Yeah, I tried to do it. I lost like maybe like half a foot from the top and half a foot from the bottom, and I hosed it down, and I'm gonna try it again when it's not as windy as it was. Like I was certain that I'm gonna light some shit on fire because the wind was blowing like really hard, and I was like, dude, this might not be the best of ideas to set an open fire like this and burn a log from both ends. Like, I was like, oh shit, man. I
deal
better
was
get the garden hose.
Once I started carving around, then I actually had to take that the duct strip that holds the duct that's perforated. It's a metal strip, and it's perforated often so that you can put either screws or nails through it. And so you can just pin things to surfaces.
Yeah.
So I had to wrap it around like a belt and pin it top and bottom, because otherwise the log started to splinter whenever I started making like a door on it and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have forest fires up there, Finbear?
Oh yeah, good ones.
Let's hope they're not like Canada's.
We've been
Well, no,
smoky down
if
here.
they were like Canadian forest fires, the entire country would be burning. But every now and then, like on the Russian side of the border, like in in the Karelian area, which used to be Finland back in the day, that shit lights on fire every now and then, and it's the same over here as it is with you and the Canadians. Like this, I remember when I lived in Helsinki, it was like everything was misty. People were, some asthmatics and really sick people were sort of forced to stay in their houses because they couldn't go outside with all the particles and all that smoke stuff.
2 days ago, there was heavy smoke down here. Yesterday, it was cloud cover, or cover that I'm just not used to. Today is kind of similar. How about you, Marcus? You covered with clouds or smoke?
No smoke. It's been kind of it hasn't really rained. I think on Sunday, I think we got like half an inch, and then it's been kind of cloudy, but not really any smoke. A little bit of rain, but very little. It's not hardly enough. We're kind of in a drought at this point.
Tomorrow we're supposed to get 110 Fahrenheit. I looked that up so I could communicate with everybody else. In Celsius, 43.3.
Oh,
Oh
my.
Lord!
Yeah, that's hot.
Bye bye
We're-
frogs.
That's
We were- We
For us,
I
had
think
about 30.
the last 2 days. It's been down into the middle 40s up here at night, but like in the daytime, it was only like 55 or 60. So that's kind of odd for this time. But now we're back up into the middle 80s. So.
Cool.
Man, my apple tree, the old one that was on the yard when we moved here, is starting to blossom. I've never seen so many flowers on it. It's
Oh, that's
absolutely
beautiful.
jam-packed full of flowers. I'm gonna have to take a picture and show it to you
Pictures.
guys in the chat.
Yeah.
So if
They're-
you
they're
want to
white
see
flowers, right?
if you want to see pictures of my apple tree, you need to join Hex Guild on Telegram.
T.me/hexfoodies.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're pinkish, white, pink.
Okay.
Looks freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Also, I planted some cherry tomatoes upside down in a planter so that I can hang them up from the greenhouse arches from the top and have it sort of just hang down from the bottom of the planter.
Have you thought about those vertical columns?
Some siren.
that you
Like
could-
aquaponic type of things, or
yeah, but then just with a drip system, the same way you do a Dutch bucket or any other drip system.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, but then I finished the greenhouse and I noticed that it's fucking huge, and I immediately ran out of everything to plant in there. Like, my pathway is too wide.
Hmm.
I could have put like 3 really wide garden beds to run through the entire greenhouse. Instead, I put like one on each side
That then
and a
gets
pathway
in
in
the
the middle,
headroom.
and the pathway
Oh, okay.
pathway is pretty wide in the middle, and it's already feeling like I'm wasting a third of the space I have in there.
Yeah, just to go around.
Your plants will start to grow and intrude in that space, so it might be fine.
I hope so, man. Otherwise, it looks like I just built a huge arena and just fiddle something on the side here, you know.
I wonder if you can grab one of these copper coils or copper lengths of wire and just connect that also to the upside down pot of the tomato plant to where like
I
you're
could.
hanging the wire. That might be fun.
You mean like one of those electro?
Yeah.
Just a
what was
wire
it called?
for the electroculture experiments that we're
I'm
all
gonna
doing.
give it a go.
My
Why
current
not?
experiment is doing really good, actually. It's doing the best so far that we did in the past 5 years. It could be because I'm
Oh.
also giving it more attention and making sure that they're always good watered. That could
Mm.
also be a possibility, but yeah, it's
So tell a bit more what's going on. How big is the antenna?
It's
Where
just
did you put it?
Oh,
What
the
did you
only
make
thing I
it out
did
of?
was just a simple, like a fence bucket, the small narrow ones, about a yard wide, filled with strawberry plants, hanged on a fence. And the only thing I did was take a piece of bamboo and wrap the coil, rubber wire as a coil around it, and just stick it in there. Just as basic and simple as you could think.
Oh, so we're talking like a foot tall, and you stuck it in
Yeah.
the 5-gallon bucket planter
Sort of. Only this
That's
is an elongated
elevated
bucket. Yeah.
near the fence.
Yeah, exactly. So it hangs about 1.5 yard from the ground, maybe
Yeah.
2 yards, and then it's It's more like a rectangle bucket, about a yard wide. And then in the middle, I just have a bamboo stick about, probably half a yard, and just wrapped it in copper wire and put it in there. That's it. Not really extensive, not thinking about it, just copper wire and go for it.
Did you point the wires towards Russia because that's how you get all the neighbors interested?
Yeah. No,
It's pointed due east because that's where all the signal comes from.
I didn't even do a ratio or anything, because basically you could do a ratio of the amount of widening over distance, and then the one that is closer together put on the top, or vice versa, to see what but I would just wanted to make it as basic as I could for the upcoming weeks that I'm still here. So I thought, you know what, the season started, let me test it out and see what happens. But up until now, I'm surprised. They're doing great.
That's cool.
I haven't added my electroculture antennas. I haven't added numbers of them, but that's to come. Right now I'm thinking about taking all of these sunflowers that I've got that have become monstrous. I want to use the stalks of those to be mason bee and wasp habitats for tomorrow. So maybe I can make some birdhouse looking things that have an entire open side, and cut these stalks the width or the depth of these birdhouses, and just put them all in there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Just don't put too many in one spot, because they're not meant to live like in that close of proximity with each other. They're solitary. They're solitary bees. So like you can put a number of them in there, 10 or 15 of them, but don't make it huge and have them all in one spot.
Okay,
spread them out.
Maybe I just had this idea between my fence posts, because I have wooden fences, or at least on this side shared with this neighbor. Because mind you, I live on 0.1 acre in a downtown environment. So quite possibly I could just sandwich these in between structures that already exist.
Yeah, absolutely. That would work.
And so my idea,
could space them out a bit so that you don't create just a feeding area for some insect-eating bird.
So for one season at least, these stalks could be utilized and hollowed out by insects that want to, hibernate.
Yeah, and they hollow them out too. Like don't take and run a rod through them or whatever. Just a little bit, just make them a dent in there. But they hollow them out. So
cool.
You just leave them like that. I've seen carpenter bee and mason bee structures that are relatively large. Like 2 by 3 feet or whatever, and it's just too big. They're not meant to live in that close proximity to each other, because if something happens to one of them, like a parasite or a virus or whatever, then they can all get it.
Okay. I've seen mason bee things only this big, like 8 inches by 5 inches max.
Okay. Yeah, those would be all right. Just so they're not like I said, you don't want to have like 100 different, bees all congregating in the same spot.
Cool. Hey, Facing, how many more days until you get over there?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask that as well.
Till you start over. Between the second week of July and the last week of July. So the last 2 weeks of July is probably somewhere in that region is where we're gonna drive.
So that's pulse chain day 60, 66, 60.
Could be
63,
from
69
to
63 to 69. You'll be there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Now I'm gonna time it. Numbers got.
What's that?
What's going on? Who was it? It was Marcus.
Marcus.
Were you
you're cleaning your glasses
or something?
Oh no, that wasn't me. I don't know what it was.
a bear
you're
needs to
stabbing.
clean his glasses in our market.
Oh,
My
no.
microphone was on mute. Somebody
Yeah, I
was
noticed.
polishing a knob.
Yeah, some knobs were being polished.
Uh, by the way, guys,
Oh man.
before I forget, like, if you haven't noticed, like, I have got this theme running on this channel. Like, every thumbnail has a new animal on the thumbnail. This week it is a horse. So, and I was talking about with Finber earlier in the green room. Like, there are so many analogies and proverbs relating to horses. Like, hold on to your horses, horses for courses, which reminded me that there is a nursery rhyme, and it's a British nursery rhyme. So I was like, I didn't know it was British because it is in English. I mentioned it on one of the live streams a long time back, and the of, on a Hexagon live stream, of course, and the American guys was like, "Oh, horses! I have no idea." So I was wanting Finbear to read out the nursery rhyme so that we can get a quick sound bite of it, so I can post it as a children's only video on YouTube. I hope I can share it right now. Wait a second. And,
Dude, I can't
it's called.
read, but I'll give it a try.
Yeah,
I keep
just a
thinking
second.
that painting behind you is a map.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's just a
Can
painting.
you see this? Uh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that all of it? It's not. There's a
You have to
this is
scroll
picture.
just
down.
four lines. That's it.
Ah,
It's a nursery.
if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. If turnips were watches, I'd wear one by my side. If ifs and ands were pots and pans, then there'd be no work for tinkers' hands. There you go, man.
Thank you. Uh, thank you. Now try and explain the meaning of the poetry. There is actually much political, or history behind the poetry, maybe, but it's a discussion for some other time. So
Yeah, that's maybe like the green room type of stuff.
Put it back up, please. I want to see the first two lines. Because you guys know that my Twitter handle is a hand, right? And it started out as a muddy print of a hand. Because now
Yeah.
that is the time to get your hands dirty.
and
What
you
is
can
that?
see. Can you see this?
Yeah, we can see it.
No,
Huh.
Davin.
If turnips were watches, I'd wear one by my side.
So it has changed multiple times. Some versions have if turnips were swords, or if turnips were bayonets. Uh, but
I see. So turnips have gone through quite a change over the times.
Okay, so get busy, get tinkering, practice what it is that you've been given the capabilities of doing.
yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
I don't know. I mean, I'd tell my niece that, who
yeah.
is like the only child that I really know.
Oh, that's actually sad.
Look at Hexwood's comment. all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put our economy back together again. That's Humpty Dumpty stuff, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
And that's really like a crappy situation. Why would you have horses doing any kind of surgery? Oh, I had a short joke. Give me a second. So I was a kid at my grandparents' place, which was on like the countryside, and I was playing with my neighbor or the neighbor's kids on the neighboring farm, and the lady of the house needed some help, and she was like, "Hey, Michael, do you know how to milk and drive a tractor?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've driven a tractor once, but I've never milked it before."
Ah,
And that was a crappy one. It's all your responsibility.
simple enough for me to get it, so I liked it.
Yeah, they have to be simple. So they're either really simple or just extremely boring. I try to send a new joke every week to DJ Cryptomatic, and he plays them on the what the heck show.
Hey, Marcovelli, thanks
So
for the
I had, like-
retweet on the stream.
Thanks, Marcovelli. Looks like we've had 12 people watching through the entire stream, which is awesome, you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
It's amazing that there are people who are interested in composting. Also, I did a worm compost because it was so easy. I'm gonna show it to you guys in a week. How's that? I put in like 2 kilos worth of potatoes that I peeled. I put the potato peels in there, and I can show it to you next week how much of them are left. And we can have we can dig around and see what we see. If you guys wanna check it out, it's really simple stuff. All you need is 2 buckets that you can fit on top of each other, and leave a small space between the buckets at the bottom, and then you need a lid. It's very simple to do, and once you have enough worms in there, they're gonna eat through all of your bio waste except for meat and dairy, and maybe citrus fruit peels. They're not too hot into like orange peels or lemon peels, but everything else you can feed to the worms.
Onions. Keep onions out too.
Yeah, or just every now and then, if you can't put a lot of. Well, I've noticed that if the onions are cooked, they just munch through it. But if it's like raw onions, they're not into it. But I noticed that I need to have a worm compost because I want to make compost tea for the garden beds. I want to have a mixture of worm compost and then like the old school compost, and put both of them in the bag, and then have it sit in the bubbler. I was thinking I was gonna ask you, like, what would you put into the compost tea, like sulfur? Is it like sulfur free? What is it? Fucking molasses, and maybe a little bit of flour.
I don't know about
Can you
flour,
think of
but
anything else?
molasses. A little bit of a splash of soil, pinch of soil.
Soil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just from somewhere where it's really lush and green and awesome.
Somewhere where you know that something's living inside of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then whatever compost, whatever worm castings you already have.
Yeah, yeah, those worm castings are amazing. Like you can bring back plants that are like everybody's already given up on them. Like everybody's like, no, that's dead. It's never coming back. You put a little bit of worm compost, bloop, bloop, and bang, give it a week or something, and
And all you need to do is
it's
buy
back.
worms once, because they multiply furiously
Yeah,
as long as they have the
every
right
egg,
conditions.
yeah, every egg has like 4 worms in it,
They'll go down
and
to the
they
bottom of the bin, and they'll just continue to multiply.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna end up having to like call your friends to come and worm sit for you. Like, dude, you have to come and give it something from your scrap bin because they will. I had that situation. If I left them for and I had the worm bin inside, just in the kitchen under a table there. Didn't tell anybody. I had a piece of rug covering it, and I was gone for before 5 days or something. And some of the worms already got too fed up with not having fresh stuff to eat, so they started to make a break for it. I, I could see them like trying to get somewhere, but they like I had this plastic matting for floor, and there was no humidity anywhere, so it's just like a line of dead worms eventually.
Yep.
Trying to find some place where there's moisture.
If you haven't experienced it, you aren't trying.
Yeah.
And it could be as simple as just a bin underneath your kitchen sink. You don't have to have it to where it's like something really elaborate inside the greenhouse.
No, not at all. No, it's really simple. Like 2 ice cream boxes. Like they come in a square box. They pile on top of each other, and there's a small space between the top one and the lower one. That's enough.
Nature is starting to get into the chat.
Mm.
And yeah,
So I wanted to
and
get
if you are sorry, just to mention that, yeah, if you are into fishing, then worms are also good for having as bait. And if you have chicken on your farm or on your in growing them in your backyard, then it's free chicken feed as well. So overall,
Oh yeah.
vermicomposting is
Chickens like
excellent.
it. Fish not so much because compost worms. Maybe not all of them, but there are some varieties of compost worms that produce a really sort of nasty tasting slime as a protection from predators, and like so they're not like earthworms, which are delicious
Yeah,
for anybody to eat. Just ask Klaus Schwab. But compost worms can actually taste pretty nasty, and they're not that good as a bait. But you could grow.
uh,
You could
red
grow.
wigglers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the most common variety is red wigglers, and I think they are used for bait. But yeah, I have to
Yeah.
search, try it out.
Yeah. That
Anyways,
sounds awesome, Juan. I would do that as well, but I'm too lazy. I've seen setups where there's like several shelves on top of each other, and the worms just travel between them,
they
and they
migrate
produce
to the
quite a
food.
lot of compost tea.
And they'll do the same thing in the soil. They'll migrate to the food if you were to like create a trench.
Yeah,
Just keep
and
it
if
covered up.
if you wanted to automate it in a way, you could build it in a way that it's sort of shaped like a funnel, and you have like a grit at the bottom of it, and just cover it with newspaper or something and start gathering stuff on top of it. And so what happens is once new stuff comes on top, it presses all the stuff down, and because it's a funnel shape, it also compresses it from the sides, so the worms get a feeling that they're going too deep into the ground, so that's why they go back up. So eventually you're gonna have like all worm compost at the bottom, and all the edible stuff for the worms, and all the sort of not processed stuff is as a layer on top. And you can just scratch the worm compost from the bottom as as your as the dish fills up. You just make more room by just taking the worm compost from the bottom and letting it slowly sink down and touch the bottom.
These bots on Twitter, or these Indian guys on Twitter, are getting better at acting like women. Hello, I am very cheerful woman, single mom, taking cares of family and loved ones, a dog lover, traveler, and fan of cooking and gardening. I'm looking for a serious relationship. Love to cuddle up with one another and do the things we love to do. Life is always inadvertent, and that's why it is so alluring. Text me at WhatsApp 44773781.
Don't give the number, man. Oh,
29
maybe we wanna text
48.
her.
Get it.
Get it, yeah. Get it correct.
To know me more and love to know you as well.
It's
Thank
funny
you.
that it's funny that they
VHCSC54TAHWL. That's
that
very
sounds
that's very intriguing.
original, man. That sounds so original.
Ooh. Okay, so cleaning house a little bit. If it is that you want me to send you mail, please give me the correct address. Some people, for some reason, don't give me correct addresses, and then I waste stampage. See, wasted stampage. Let's see. Also,
Marcavelli says that she wants to cuddle with your seed words.
she saw Jiraz's tweet, not my tweet.
Oh, she was going after you, man.
I'm just making.
How
that
are you
up.
gonna protect yourself?
Over at t.me/hex postcards, we're running a competition right now. Grand prize is $400, second prize $200, third prize $100. There's still 4 days left to enter this contest. Just go into that chat room or send me your submission. It's about 6.5 or 6.25 tall and 9 inches. And over at hexpostcards.com, we have sample files that you can take from. The competition, though, is pulse chain this time. So it's pulse chain postcards that the competition is. We don't know exactly when it is that we're going to ship these out, but we're looking for, design submissions so that we have the option to pull from these files. And so last year's, we had something like 20 people 20 different submissions. It was a really great thing. I forget exactly who the winner was, but I specifically remember Hex McKinsey doing a really great job there. I personally had like 4 different ideas of ways of conveying Hex to folks. Like imagine you're sending a postcard to a very wealthy person who has nothing to do with crypto. So you're explaining it to an absolute noob. How would you do that on a 2-sided color postcard with UV ray protection? So that's going on. You can check out my Twitter, EcoBuilder, for information on that if you choose to go that route. And then also Hexagon Chief down in New Zealand. That's how we know this guy, but he's changed his name to Mischief, I believe, in the last 2 years. He's been going into Twitter Spaces and strumming his guitar and singing from his beautiful voice in Twitter Spaces. And so recently I've heard this so much that I'm like, hey man, you need to come back into the guild and sing to us. So he posted something to Twitter recently, and I'd like to share that with everybody. So do y'all mind if I press play
Oh
on
yeah,
this?
that was a great one.
Sweet.
I'll mute myself.
This is the only way I can get the sound to not sound scratchy on my bed without cutting it. When there's so much love in this world, then what's all this fighting for? When there's so much peace in this world, then why are we always at war? When there's so much suffering, then why do we choose to ignore? Turn and look the other way, pretending nothing's wrong at all. These questions must be asked, so the face of truth's unmasked, and the wall of lies crumbles and falls. And the wall of lies crumbles and falls.
That sounds freaking awesome, man.
Okay, so he's got basically an entire album, and a lot of it relates to crypto markets, and so freaking awesome. I can't wait to get him on here and him pull out a few of the highlighted ones. Like I really do think that I was blown away by some of the other songs that he has. Let's just leave it at that.
Awesome. Hopefully we get to hear more of his songs next week.
I don't know if he's writing them right now or if he's had them written, you know?
I think he's written them himself. He's been into it for years and years.
Jiraj gave me a threat in private chat. Devin, if you want to share that video, better do it now.
Better do it
I'm
now.
just now seeing it. Punk?
Yeah. No, but see, we're already 5 minutes over the 1 hour limit. We need to keep it tight, man.
All right, guys.
Diraj, are you gonna sign us off?
Yeah, signing off with our normal what you call Hex Guild Zanzibar. See you guys next week.
Yeah.
Same place, same channel. Adios.
Every week.
See you guys in a week.
The vision is to create the dream community, a retreat center, eco-village, sports facility, festival ground, to just really create the most beautiful place on earth.
So I'm taking on my biggest project ever, and I'm looking for the right people to embark on this journey with me. Thus far, I've been investing the amount of resources I have into this, and together with a small team of dedicated people, we've been able to get water access, electricity is being set up, and the first bungalow is due to be finished in a couple of weeks. And that's just the beginning. And Zanzibar is the perfect place to do this. Both because it's the most stunningly wonderful, tropical, exotic paradise, but also because there's so much potential to help the local community who are craving to enjoy the same opportunity as the rest of the world. Like proper co-working spaces with computers connected to the internet, professional sports talent development centers, a proper waste management system. There will be retreats, workshops of different kinds, movie theater, lookout tower, basketball court, tennis court, football court, and natural coral rock pools, sustainable agriculture, music studio, podcasting studio, acrobatic park, yoga platforms. You know, a place to develop talent and creativity in all shapes and forms, in a free place in the middle of nature, in tune with earth, you know, as it should be. It's about giving value, it's about seeing the value we all inhabit, and it's about creating a new beginning in a society where we've forgotten who we are. I believe the future is held by those who come together in love, who understand that we are so connected, that we ultimately are one, and create from there, from the grassroots, where we have decided our own rules.
The vision is to create